Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work at Node 1 Scandinavia. You have come to the second exercise in Drupal 7, the Essentials, in the documentation site suite of exercises. This exercise is described as this. Documentation collection. As site member, I want to be able to create documentation collections referring to one or several documentation pages. There should be room for entering a description for each collection. This is important since it allows me to organize the online documentation in a way that is meaningful to me, as well as take part of documentation structures others find useful. All right. And as with all user stories or exercises in this suite, there is also a how-to demo that describes this in more detail. We should be able to create new documentation pages. Anyone logged into the site, it seems. It should contain a description. It should refer to at least two documentation pages, be able to refer to at least two documentation pages. It should be displayed with description and links. And if we change the order of documentation references, it should be changed when we view the documentation collection as well. If we log in with another account, the documentation collection, this is actually wrong here, documentation collection should not be editable. Okay, this is the manuscript for Drupal 7 The Essentials, by the way. So, okay, here's the site I'm going to work on, and here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start by creating a new content type. Add new content type. Going to call it documentation collection, and I'm going to shorten the machine name Docs02, giving it a description. Documentation collection refers to one or several documentation pages on the site, making it easier to navigate them. I can't write today. Only you can edit your own documentation collections. This might be worth pointing out since anyone can edit the documentation pages, as we saw in the previous exercise. Title makes sense. Explanation of submission guidelines I'm going to leave empty. Preview, sure. Publish to front page, yeah, why not? Display setting, we want to see who created it, yes, sure. Commenting, yes. Permissions. Oh, this is from the fast permissions administration module, allowing me to change permissions for this node type. That's cool. Menu settings, I don't want to add any documentation collections into any menu, so it makes sense to deselect this one. Save and add fields. We have title, we have body, that will do for the description. Actually, I'm going to change this. I'm going to delete this. I don't think it makes sense to have a long text and summary on this content type. Instead, I'm going to use description here, and I'm going to use docs collection description as the field name. I like to prefix with the content type name, machine name. This will be a long text. Save. That brings us the wizard of configuring the new field. No global field settings for this, but we have local field settings used on this entity only. Description, description of your documentation collection will help others understand what they will learn from it. It said, I think it said it should be pretty short. No, it only says description. I'm still gonna lower this to say 4 rows. Let's use filter text, why not? So you can insert links and stuff. 1 value only. Good. There we have the description, and I've actually skipped something pretty important in the description of this user story, because down here we have required preparations. It says we should have a number of documentation pages here. It also said that we should have the references project enabled with a node reference module installed. I've already downloaded that one, and going into modules, I can find, this is module filter module, allowing me to filter like this. Reference, node reference, save configuration. Continue. This allows me to add node reference fields on my site. I could, as the description here says, use any stable release of the relation module instead. It's not stable at this point at writing or recording this, so I'm going to use the node reference module instead. The references module is more powerful and more flexible, and I encourage you to use it when you can, but it's not completely ready yet. So, okay, I'm gonna have to reload this page now for my site to recognize that there's a new field type available. Title, description, and then I'm gonna have node reference here. Documentation pages. Docs collection docs page, I'm gonna call this. Autocomplete, why not? An autocomplete makes sense. If we have like 200 documentation pages on the site, we don't want to have, say, a select list or something like that. We can refer to documentation pages. Good. Documentation page. This is a required field. It doesn't make sense to create a collection that doesn't have any pages it refers to. Help text. Select the documentation pages this collection should contain. The site will help you find the documentation pages matching the text you enter. Alright, size of text field, matching with containing instead of starts with, that's good. And we should be able to add as many documentation pages as we like, as long as we add at least one, and that is made sure by this required field up here. Save. Okay, let's see what's left here. The permission settings, of course. Let's go. Let's actually try this shortcut here. Edit and permissions. Wow, I've never seen this before. It doesn't work either. That's life when you work with development modules. I'm going to do this the long way instead then. Permissions and collection here. Create new content. All authenticated users should be able to do that. Edit own content, authenticated users. Not edit any content. Good. Save permissions. There we are. I would say this user story is finished now. I'm gonna demonstrate it in another screencast. I'll see you there. Goodbye.